Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. I'm Sir Charles, or better known as Evangelist Charles, and I'm actually getting ready to transition from one channel to another. Right now, it's the African Chronicles, the Freedom Wave project, and I'm actually transitioning over to the Phenoms 3000, and that's just a beginning of a new company, if you will, or LLC, if you will, that we're creating. And we're creating this because we're transitioning and shifting because of our faith in God and what He's leading us to do, because we're just tired of living in an America that doesn't look like us, that doesn't represent us, and doesn't even try to fix issues that they know that are happening. And that's when we have to depend on our faith to lead us in the right direction. So right now we're transitioning over to the Phenoms 3000, and basically that is a LLC that's going to specifically focus on maintaining a livable life with a livable wage, but actually catapulting people into entrepreneurship. That's correct. We're going to be a vehicle for people to get their freedom back and become entrepreneurs. So anyway, with that being said, the title of my video today is it's how to get an EIN in minutes. And number one, the most important out of this is how to get it free of charge. Yes, free. See, most people, they go to places to a CPA, to a lawyer. They even use places online like Rocket Lawyer, which Rocket Lawyer, so far so good. I've seen people have some good experiences there, no problem. And I think it's pretty reasonable in pricing. But I like the word free, because how many of you guys already are robbing Peter to pay Paul, or you have a job, and we used to call it that just over broke. And the long story short is, we want a way to save money. And again, that's what we should be doing, saving money and investing it back into ourselves. Because in order to do that, we need to be able to have a vehicle that can show us how. And today I'm going to show you how to get an EIN number for your business so that you can live a carefree or almost carefree life. So without any further, we're going to go to your, we're going to go to your web browser. It could be Google, it could be MSN, it could be Bing, and mine is actually DuckDuckGo. So we're going to type in www.irs.gov. And the reason why it's not .com, so many people make this mistake as well, because it isn't IRS.com. It does give you information, but it's not the legitimate site that you would go to. First of all, to protect your Social Security number and any other financial information that you would plug into this internet, you want to go to .gov. Even on the state level, when you apply for your LLC, you want to go to the state that you're in, .gov. Just remember that. And here's the key terms: EIN, Employer Identification Number, LLC, Limited Liability Company. Push enter, please. So it's going to take us to the main site of the IRS, and it looks kind of, when I seen this site, I'm thinking, man, this is not right either, because it really doesn't look like the type of websites that I'm used to. But it does have all the, how should I say, columns, or I should say it is geared for people who need certain activities done from the government. So go to the search bar within their site, which is here. Just follow matter of fact, if you lose me, just follow my arrows. And then you're going to type in EIN, doesn't matter if it's caps or not. Hit search. And we're going to get the search results. And I usually go with the first 5 and see what I can find out through here. And right now it says apply for an employer identification number. That's the one we want. So hit the online version. And notice key things right here that I'm going to actually talk about. You have to make sure there's between Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that you even try to do this. I suggest a little bit after 7 a.m. going to the site, applying for it, and make sure you have at least 30 minutes before 10 p.m. And here's just a couple things that I found out, a couple glitches. First of all, if you have any like maybe 10 or 15 minutes of inactivity, it's going to erase everything. And also, even if you have activity and you're taking too long, it's going to cut off on you. So I think they have made improvements this year, and it's going to go. It just depends on how quick the signals are going from Wi-Fi to your computer to their system or Wi-Fi system they have, internet system they have hooked up here, because you really want to be careful of that. I've seen this go down, and a lot of times back in the day, like any other application or form, you get locked out. So keep that in mind. Also, as you can see right here, I just want to make sure you see what I was talking about there. And this is very important too. You must complete this entire application in one session. That's why I made this video, so it can be easy for you. So this is the easy part. Go already down, and you was going to submit to, let's see, apply online now. This is what you're going to do. Apply online now. And I'm trying to go real fast because I want to show you this can be done in 10 minutes. And if you don't get this here, this guideline, then you're on the wrong site. Start over. Hit OK. And this is something that if you're new to this, you may want to read it, maybe not, but again, I'm familiar with all these things. I worked with one of the biggest companies in Michigan for the longest, General Motors, and I'm familiar with all these forms. Now I get to use these forms. Come on. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and say begin application. And here's the thing you want to already have done in your mind before you get started, or even have a piece of paper like I have next to me with the information that you need. What type of legal structure are you applying for this EIN? Is it a limited liability company, LLC? Is it a sole proprietorship? Is it a partnership? Is it a estate or trust? You need to know these things, and you need to know the reasons, just like a computer. People ask me all the time, what computer should I buy? The first question I ask them, I can't answer that. I can't even give you an answer for that until you tell me, what are you going to use the computer for? See, IT engineers, not only do we configure and not only do we program, but we actually analyze and look at the logistics of everything. We're analysts, and we're analysts first. So with that being said, you're going to go down to what we need for this particular video. We're going to click on the radio button for the LLC. And I'm going to read it to you. A limited liability company is a structure allowed by state statute. Remember I said state, because that's where you're going to actually file your articles of organization, not articles of incorporation, because this is not a corporation of that kind. Matter of fact, I would like to say, based on the definition, it's not a corporation at all. And you would actually submit that to the Secretary of State, and it usually takes 3 to 7 business days for them just to approve your articles of organization, which is for an LLC. Continue. Next, this is really easy. You have chosen limited liability company. I suggest when you do this, read, but read quickly, because again, your time is limited. But again, if you go over this on your paper, the things that you need, that's why I'm creating this video for you. So you won't have to make screenshots. You won't have to print out anything. You can look at this video and understand the key points that you would need. Number 1, to get your EIN, which is Employer Identification Number, or your LLC, which is nothing more than your articles of organization for a limited liability company. As a matter of fact, I didn't even see this till now, but it says right here, LLCs are not incorporated and do not file articles of incorporation. There it is right there. And another thing that just stood out to me too. You want to pick at least 3 optional names, or at least 2 optional names to go with the original one that you create, which is nothing more than your business name or assumed name for your LLC. Why? Because there may be other variations of that name there, and they will not allow you to use it. And while you're doing this, if that gets stuck in there, it will give you an error, and it will not, each and every time, if you do it 10 times, it won't work. So you have to have 3 options, especially if you go down to the city clerk or the state clerk, whatever they call it nowadays, and try to do this by appointment because of COVID. You will see that if you don't have that, it'll be a wasted trip. So make sure you have at least 2 optional names outside the original one, and you cannot use part of that name in your LLC, which should be said there somewhere in these instructions here. Continue, please. Next, you have to know how many members. First of all, you need members if you want members. Now, you can just be a sole operator or executive operator of your LLC. That's no problem. People do it every day. Every day they do this. But I suggest getting an agent. That means a person that's a point of contact. And a lot of times they ask for that in the articles of organization for your LLC. They ask you, do you have a point of contact? Which, again, is an agent. And an agent is a physical person, or it could be a physical, well, it should be both. A physical person and a physical address or P.O. box, if they still allow you to use that, in order to be able to file your articles of organization for your LLC. Because, again, they look for this information at the end of this application. They're going to ask you that it is required, and if it doesn't match up to what's filed, they will deny you every single time. And again, when you get, and I just want to interject this, and again, when you get places like Rocket Lawyer, it's just so many lawyers and organizations, nonprofit as well. They'll say, well, it's only $200 cost. Well, each time it fails, you have to pay that $200. And just remember what I'm saying. This is free. 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 Freely it was given to me. Freely I'm giving it to you. Now I welcome all goodwill offerings, likes, subscribing to my channel. Please, I'm trying to be something different. I'm trying to be what America should have been. A place of brotherly love for real, that you actually look out for your brother and your sister, because that comes back to you. So, matter of fact, I have to push pause because I have to put my information this time in. Bear with me. And just remember, too, you want to make sure you, for the last slide that just passed, you want to make sure you put in the state that you physically located the business in. This is where you're going to do the most advertising, the most selling, the most marketing. Remember, LLC is good for the entire U.S. territory. Okay, let's see. Due to the number of, this is actually for mine, so bear with me here, guys, because I want to make sure that I don't make a mistake while actually creating this video. Let's see here. All right, so basically, again, when you're dealing with your members, you need to make sure that you count the amount of members. If it's not going to be solely you, count the number of members and get familiar with the different forms that you would have to fill out based on the members, not employees, based on the members in your LLC. Hit continue. And I'm going to show you right here where this counts, where this matters. Because then what it does is it calculates those things that you've already put in there, And it says, why is the LLC requesting an EIN? Well, in this case, I'm starting a brand new business. First, it was the African Chronicles. Now it's the Phenoms.3000 LLC. Now for you, as I click on this radio button, it may be something else. It may be because you hired employees. It may be because of banking purposes. Maybe you've been having some issues with your accounts, or you just want separate accounts. And a lot of times people do this because they want a separate account from their personal and their business account. And a lot of times what banks will do, they will use your same Social Security number or that ITIN number, and you don't want to do that always. A lot of people do this because they don't want the company they're creating or the organization they're creating to be a subsidiary of that organization. Hit continue. Now, this is the good part. Please tell us about the responsible party of the LLC. This is easy. All you have to do, based on your members, you just pick one person to execute this, which actually, in this case, to come to the website that you're seeing in front of you and actually put their name, their information, whatever is asked of them, which should be somewhat part of your articles of organization, because it should tell a little bit of information about that member. If not the least, their full name that's registered with the IRS. And then you want to hit this radio button that says, I am one of the owners or members of the managing member of the LLC. Because again, you could be a sole proprietorship. Back to my first part of the video. It shows there, if you pause it, it says, do you want to be a sole proprietor? Definitely not in my case. I want to be an LLC, and I have members. So let me push pause so I can input this information. You guys are still with me. It says, where is the LLC physically located? This is pretty easy. Required fields all the way down the line. Let me show you. All these are required, including a phone number. Now, I don't think, depends on who you get to do your articles of organization, they may include phone numbers. If they don't, you just have a phone number in mind that you know solidly is going to stay on at least the next 12 months. Hello, somebody. So as I fill this out again, I'm going to go ahead and push pause, and then I'm going to hit continue, because this is actually self-explanatory. Your street name of the person, that's the member. Their city, the state that they live in, their zip code. And again, a phone number to the business, or could be to that member. It's your choice. You guys have to decide for your LLC. Now again, this is another part of the application that's self-explanatory. Tell us about the LLC. Required fields. You have to give the legal name of the LLC, and it must match the articles. Here we go. The articles of organization. And it says if filed, because everyone doesn't have to file these articles, but most people who've actually listened to my video understand the different options that I outlined in this video. And you'll see another differential, if you will, when I do a video on LLCs. But this is what you have to do. I suggest, if you're like me, and most likely 8 out of 10 of you are just like me, so you would definitely want to file the articles of organization. Your trade name, doing business as, basically only if it's different from your legal name, which this is your legal name of the business. The county where your LLC is located. The state where your LLC is located. The state territory where your articles of organization was submitted or will be filed. Because see, I used to get EIN numbers for assumed names in my city, which I lived in. But now things have changed. Of course, you know, the Congress that we know in every different state, they always change things from time to time. Actually, they change them often. So we just have to make sure that we're in line every time we fill out these articles, or if we have any document that we're submitting to the IRS. But we have the social media now so good, you can get people like myself that'll go through this, pay the money, go through the tedious times of time of trying to find this information out, and the agony of what it takes, but's willing to give it to you because I want people to be successful in their lives. And then last here, Llc Start Date. What was the start date that was outlined on the paperwork that you received for your articles of organization? Or if you didn't file them, when did you start your LLC? And you would just list that start date once you file those LLC papers, again, which is the articles of organization, not the articles of incorporation, because we're not incorporating anything. Guys, tell us about, or I should say, tell us more about the LLC. Does your business own a highway motor vehicle? Does your business involve gambling or wagering? Does your business need to file Form 720? See, all these things is predicated individually to your LLC. I know the answer to these are no. Come on, guys. And then, does your business sell or manufacture alcohol, tobacco, or firearms? Definitely not. So, do you expect to have any employees in this, or I should say, related to this LLC within 12 months? Now, that's one that you really want to think about. I don't anticipate in 12 months I will need that. Everything I'll be doing will be considered to be e-commerce. Well, basically, I'm going to be managing everything, or at least the members that I've already selected will actually take care of that responsibility. And we're going to do it for free because we're investing within ourselves, because we understand that the benefits will be huge. Right now, we're in a situation with this COVID that anybody can become a millionaire. Yes, a millionaire. Now, I'm not even concerned with being a multimillionaire or even a billionaire. If I become a millionaire because God trusted us with his affairs, with his monies, with his people, then I'm happy and content. And my life is way greater than it was yesterday. I have to push pause again because I have to do one more thing. Be right back. Almost there, guys. The last thing is another one that's pretty easy. What does your business or organization do? And basically, choose one category that best describes your business. Click the underlying links for additional examples of each category. See, in my case, I wish I was opening a casino. That would be lovely. Hotel or motel, that would be lovely. And I'm planning on doing something similar to that in what we call, the spiritual people, that is, what we call the promised land. That's what we're calling it in this season. Hashtag promised land. But we'll get that in another video. Because again, it's about expats, repacks, and entrepreneurship and their faith. That was my channel. That's been my channel for a long time now. Now we about to be elevated to Phenoms 3000 state. And again, I'll elaborate what Phenoms 3000 is all about. Because we're phenomenal people. We're not average people. And we're phenomenal because we allow Christ on the inside of us. And I guess, let me see, if I look at this menu, it wouldn't be construction for me. It wouldn't be finance. Let's see here. It wouldn't be manufacturing. Let's see if they even have it here. I guess in this case, mine would be retail because it's actually e-commerce. That's what it's called. E-commerce. All right, and then you would pick that, choose whatever's best fits you, and hit continue. All right, so this is pretty much self-explanatory as well. So let me push pause so I can actually fill in. I'm sorry, I'm back now. I just want to say this. This is the end of my video showing people how to get a free EIN number. As you can see there, it's asking me this question. This is when you want to jump for joy. How would you like to receive your EIN confirmation number? Because see at the top there, it shows you, first of all, it deals with these two here. It authenticates all of your information from the articles of organization to the information about your social security number or your ITIN number, depending if you had organization beforehand. It does that. And then it even syncs up the addresses that you plug in for whatever it asks for. And then only here what it actually calculates if it's going to, give you at the end of this session your EIN confirmation numbers. Now I'm going to actually do mine here. Use this radio button because I'm going to receive my letter online because I know I have a way to print. I have a way to use a USB drive, and I do have Adobe Reader on my PC, on my Android, that can actually receive this. So I'm getting mine immediately. I don't want to wait 4 weeks. That could turn into 6 weeks, turn in 8 weeks if you don't have to. Right now it's COVID. It's all these stimulus checks, so many different credits that they're trying to. Right now our IRS is hugely backed up. So I'm going to do this. So I'll be right back with the end of this, I promise. Guys, I don't know if you can actually see me now or you can even still hear me now because my computer slash electronic device is running dead for some reason. But hopefully you can see this screen. It says the Ein Assistant. And if you reach this particular page here from the IRS, still there, it says that additional information about your EIN number. I received my EIN number from my new LLC, and it says when you use it, next steps for your LLC or whatever you choose to be, sole proprietorship, partnership. Remember, those things are functional. People do it every day. So you don't necessarily need the LLC. We need it because the way we do our business, we're an average American. Average Americans, we need opportunities. This is an opportunity. See, and that's all I'm going to say on this video about that because, again, I want people to start looking at my videos, liking them, subscribing them, even giving me good positive comments. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them. I will answer them as soon as I can. Okay, and it's acceptance or non-acceptance of election. Okay, that's good. I was thinking it was something else that you guys may need. But at the end of the day, I've been an IT analyst slash system administrator slash engineer for almost 25 years. I worked for companies such as Electronic Data Systems, Hewlett Packard, Compaq, and then in my hometown, which everybody should have a car, should know this, I worked for General Motors for all those years. We set so much of their IT infrastructure up. So I'm telling you right now, it's time for us to really win, to really get over the hump, to not only see, I don't want to have, I don't want to be working 24 hours every day. I want to work smart, not hard.